Happy hashtag I love Monday, folks. Appreciate you being here. Let's talk about your rate card. We'll get to that here in just a few minutes. Your rate card, what it is, how to use it, and all that good stuff. But first, welcome. My name is Mike Hathcote. I'm a professional full-time voiceover talent. Been doing so since about 1995. And welcome to our Monday Huddle. Actually, we do this every weekday at 10 my time, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Um, and just to give you a little bit of a trick, tip, something to kind of get you further down the road in your voiceover career. And once again, welcome. Glad you're here. Don't forget to chime in on the chat. Let me know where you're watching or listening from, and we'll get to some shout outs here shortly. And also, don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button. We're creeping up on 100,000 subscribers, so let's get there. Subscribe, and we appreciate it. Okay. First, let's do a drawing. Remember, we're doing this um, live training event tomorrow night, and it's going to be on the business of voiceover. And so what we're doing is we're giving away a free seat to that event. So over the past few days, tons of you have signed up for this. In fact, I believe this is the fastest registration for any live training event we've had. It is insane how quickly this has gone. There may be some seats left. So if you haven't signed up yet, there is a link in the bottom to sign up for that. But we're also going to draw for the free seat right now. So the way I'm going to do this is I've I've exported a checklist or a spreadsheet of everybody who's entered to win the free seat. And I'm going to put that into the Google randomizer and the number randomizer. And I'm going to hit it 5 times just to make sure that it's working right. So I'm going to put all the numbers in. I've already put them in. I'm going to hit it 5 times, and the 5th one is going to be the winner. So you don't have to be present to win, but I'll contact you if you have won. And if you have already signed up for the event and you win the free one, I'll just refund your money for that one. All right. So here we go. Got them plugged in. So number 1, boom. Number 2, boom. Number 3, boom. Number 4, and the winner is number 5, number 26. That is Eddie or Edie Sands. And I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I think it's Edie. Edie Sands or Sens, S-E-N-S, Eddy-S-E-N-S. So if you are on, I believe he or she has been on here before. So if you're on, you are the winner. So I will either refund your money or we'll just give you access. So there you go. Congratulations. Let's see if actually they're on here right now. I don't see yet, but we'll take care of it. All right. Okay. Let's get into the topic of today, which is your rate card or your rate sheet. So your rate sheet, and by the way, one of the things I'm going to be talking about Tuesday night is how to set your rates. And of course, your rate card or your rate sheet is part of that. We're going to get into it a lot deeper on Tuesday night, but setting rates is super important, right? Because you need to make sure that you're not underpricing, overpricing, and make sure that you get paid what you're worth. So your rate card is what a lot of people will ask for when you're doing your marketing. So you send out your emails, you're doing your direct emails, and they like your stuff and they say, "Hey, great, we like your stuff. We'll keep you in mind. Can you send me your rate card or sheet, whatever they call it?" So that is very important to already have that ready so you're not scrambling when you first get a request for that. So go ahead and create one, but the way that you create one is what I always suggest people do is go to the GVAA rate guide. Now, I'll preface this by just saying that rates are, people are going to pay you what they can pay you, whatever their budget is. Maybe they're on the low side, the high side, whatever. So, but you want to give them a starting point. And so I always tell people to go to the GVAA rate guide as the starting point. Now, the GVAA rate guide, and it stands for Global Voice Acting Academy, GVAA. Um, there's been a lot of thought put into those rates. And you can go, I mean, all kinds of stuff in there from e-learning to broadcast, non-broadcast, audiobooks, the whole gamut is in there. A lot of it is based on not only the word count, but also the usage and the length of time it's going to be used if it's for broadcast. Anyway, you can get kind of into the weeds there, but if you go to the GVAA rate guide, that is a great jumping off point, and you start there. Now, if you are new to the industry and you're a new voice talent, you've got good quality demos and a good quality website to showcase those on. Don't undersell yourself because you're new, okay? You're only new to them, to the new prospect or the possible client, right? As far as they're concerned, you've been at this forever. So never undercut yourself because you're new. A lot of people ask me that, well, what should I charge because I'm new? Well, if you've got good quality samples to show them, they shouldn't be able to distinguish whether you're new or not, right? You're just new to them. So price accordingly. So use that rate guide as a jumping off point. If you want to change them, those aren't in stone. If you want to change them a little bit to suit what you feel like you can do, then that's fine. But that is a great place to start because a lot of people they don't know where to start. They don't know how to just pull numbers out of the air and figure out what they're supposed to charge. Now, when you send your rate card to the client or prospective client, always let them know that those rates are not in stone. All right. Always let them know that you are negotiable to a point, right? You don't want to give away the farm, but I mean, I always preface the rate sheet whenever I send it back. When they ask me for my rate card, I send it back to them. I always say, here's my rate card as a jumping off point. You know, that way they know that you are negotiable and that those numbers are not in stone. Now, if they try to lowball you or whatever, then you can tell them to go pound sand or whatever, but it's a good starter for your negotiation, you know? I always just say, "This is a jumping off point. I'm happy to work with you, in your budget." That way they know. Now, sometimes they'll come back and they'll say, "Nope, sounds great. No problem. We'll keep you in mind," or, "Hey, we've got a job for you." I mean, that's literally happened to me, but it's always good to let them know that you're not, that those numbers are not set in stone and that you're able to work with them if they need to. So that is your rate card. And if you have any questions about that, let us know. But that is a huge part of your marketing efforts is reaching out to people. They will, I mean, it happens to me probably 2 or 3 times a week in marketing where they will ask for a rate card. They don't always do that. Some of them have what they pay, take it or leave it, right? This is what we pay per word, per finished minute, per whatever. Take it or leave it, and that's fine. But some will ask you for your rates, and that's what the rate card's for. So, okay, let's see who's in today. There's Edie. And tell me if that's right. Is it Edie or Eddie? Edie? I'm guessing Edie because it's Eddy, but I just want to make sure. Oh, and she says, he or she, sorry, says, I've never won anything in my life. Well, congratulations. You've just won this event. So awesome. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the top here. There's Becky. Happy Monday to you too. Nephi from Knoxville. There you go, buddy. Just for you. Jim says, good morning from Memphis. There you go, buddy. Just for you. Emmy Doll says, good morning from Phoenix. And good morning to you from Phoenix. There's Nancy in Yankton, South Dakota. There's David from Hamilton, Ontario. Jules from Southern Idaho. Jim says, hit the like button, folks. Yes, please do that. Thank you. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, all that good stuff. Mark from Montreal. There's Kirk from Greenville. South Carolina. There's a lot of Greenvilles, so better make sure that we distinguish that. There's DeCarlos from Vegas. There's Dennis from Illinois. There's John from Denver. There's Megan from Manitoba, Canada. There's Alex from Utah. Edward from Jacksonville, Florida. Sandra from London, Ontario. There's Dennis from Pasadena. And there's Buddy from Charlotte. Looking forward to tomorrow night. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's going to be at, I believe it's 5 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow night. And it should run for about an hour and a half. We're going to do an hour of content and then a bunch of Q&A. So that should be it. And by the way, if you are signed up for that and can't attend live, it will be recorded, and the recording will be available forever. And for those of you who even do show up live, the recording will still be there forever and always for you to access. There's Sean from Longview. Tracy from Rochester, Minnesota. I'm ready for tomorrow night. Thank you. I'm glad you are. It's going to be a good one. There's Theo from downtown Chicago. Carmen from Gainesville. Sarah says, usually from Kentucky, Tennessee, checking in from beautiful Destin, Florida. Nice. Nice little getaway. When I lived down in the South, I used to go down to Fort Walton Beach, Florida, which is right next to Destin. And we used to go down there quite a bit with friends and hang out. It was fun. Megan says, congratulations. I'm sure that's to Edie. Theo says, congrats to Edie Sens. Voiceover by Forever Young. Congratulations, Edie. There's Corey from Whitehall, Wisconsin. DeCarlos says, congratulations, Edie. Chris Cole says, congrats to the winner. Oh, it jumped on me again. Hang on. I got to catch back up. Bob says, congratulations, Edie. Dr. Bob says, good afternoon from rainy Clearwater, Florida. Terry says, greetings from Falston, Maryland. There's Bob from Wadsworth, Ohio. Edward says, congrats, Edie. John says, hey, happy Monday. Tim says, good afternoon from Altoona. Adrian says, I came in late. Are you using an online reference guide for rates? If so, which site did you refer to? I referred to the GVAA rate guide, the Global Voice Acting Academy. Jim says, good to know about this. Thanks. You're welcome, sir. LaDonna says, thanks for the rate card knowledge. What's a good software to use when editing voiceovers? For example, Adobe Express, possibly. I don't even think Adobe Express is a thing, but Adobe Audition is what I use and is probably the gold standard when it comes to voiceover. I'd say if you were to poll all voice talent, Adobe Audition is probably the one that most people use. There's plenty of others that people use. Audacity is a free option. Reaper, Studio One. I'm drawing a blank. There are several others that are out there that are easy to use, but I prefer Adobe Audition. Edie says, thank you everyone for the congratulations. LaDonna says, congrats, Edie. There's Wayne from Port Orchard, Washington. Oh, so it is Eddie. It's Eddie. Sorry. Eddie. EH-DEE. Eddie. Okay. Good to know. Kristen says, watching a beautiful sunrise in Hawaii while soaking up this great information. Well, thank you, Kirsten. Jim Williams says, what's the shirt promoting? It's not really, that's the state flag of Tennessee. That's where I'm from. And that's where Nephi and who was it else from Memphis? Let me scroll all the way back up so I don't, Jim. Yeah, Jim from Memphis. So that's the shirt. You should know that if you're in Memphis. It's the Tennessee flag. LaDonna says, also, is that a soundproof room you're in? Sorry if I'm late on the memo. This is not a soundproof room. I mean, it's a voiceover recording booth, but it's not soundproof. No room is soundproof unless you work at NASA. Um, but yes, this is a sound treated recording space, and that's what I sit and record in every day. Wally says, connecting from the mountaintop in Virginia. Glad this is on YouTube so I can listen when I've missed the huddle. Thank you, Mike. You're welcome. Yeah, you can always go back and watch these after the fact. You don't have to be here live. It's nice to be able to chime in on the chat, but always available. In fact, this YouTube channel has more than approaching 1,500 videos, all related to voiceover. So you'll never run out. We have far and away the most VO related content of anyone in the galaxy. Ron says, good morning from Grand Haven, Michigan. Jim says, time goes forward on Sunday morning from standard to daylight savings time. Is it this Sunday? Maybe, I guess it is. Well, here's the thing. Here in Arizona, we don't change our clocks because we're rebels like that. And so we don't change clocks. And so that's when it gets a little interesting. It gets a little confusing because half the year Arizona is on mountain time right now. When everybody changes, we switch to uh, um, Pacific time. So this will be an earlier huddle for me starting then. So it'll be 9 a.m. for me. Right now it's at 10. So that never gets confusing, right? Robert says GVA, thanks. It's GVAA, Global Voice Acting Academy, GVAA. That's your starting point. Jim says, I use Audition for everything. Yeah, me too. I've used it years and years and years. I believe it's the most user-friendly, but yet the most um, comprehensive DAW out there, and DAW stands for Digital Audio Workstation or Workspace. DAW is the acronym for that. Sarah says, GarageBand? No. GarageBand just does not have enough stuff to use. I mean, you can record voice. I mean, that's kind of what it's there for in basic music recording. And I've played around with GarageBand long time ago. It's fine if you wanna record a voiceover for your family vacation videos or whatever, but as far as pro level recording, probably not. Harold says, "I appreciate the information you share because a lot of it I did not know." Well, my pleasure. That's what we're all about here. Jim says, "My Tennessee flag is orange." Well, yeah, you know, yeah, that's true, but that's the volunteers. That's orange, but when we're talking about the state of Tennessee, right here. Voice 156 says, "Greetings from Holland, where VO is busier than ever." Awesome. That's what I like to hear. Victoria says, "There's always something new to learn. We should never stop learning. Thank you for being a blessing." Well, that's nice. Thank you very much, Victoria. I appreciate that. And you're right. There's never an end to the learning. And this is something that this is a little tangent, but I'll tell you anyway. I'm a coach. I'm a voiceover coach. I teach on all subjects, performance marketing, tech, all that kind of stuff. However, I'm not above learning something new. So if I ever run into a situation where maybe I'm not booking as much as I used to or should be, I'm not above going to a coach and trying to get the screws tightened up a little bit and making sure that I'm at the top of my game. I'm not one of those coaches who just, doesn't need to learn anything new. There's always something new to learn. So, yes, good way to put that. Thank you so much. There's Paul in Arkansas. Jim says AZ and Hawaii don't change clocks. Okay, I didn't know that. I knew there was another state or two that did not change clocks, but I wasn't sure which ones it was, so I guess it's Hawaii then. Great. There's Mary. Happy Monday. Thank you, Mary. Mary is our performance coach. She hosts a webinar on Thursday nights for people in the voiceover blueprint. And you can do reads and get live feedback, and it's great. It's a great tool to kind of help keep those skills sharp. So thank you for that, Mary. LaDonna says, uh, I love you all's platform. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, you're okay. You all's. Y'all's. 1,500 videos. Very personable. The channel is. Thank you. Appreciate that. There's Celeste. Hello from Newark, Delaware. By the way, Celeste, I just I replied to your email a little earlier, so you may want to check that and reach out to Mary. There's Jason from Kearney, Nebraska. Jason says, I want to say thank you to you and Bill. Well, it's my pleasure. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. And I'll pass that to Bill. InfoSage says, so for instance, online learning is seldom an hour long. Do you round to the nearest 15 minutes or 30 minutes? Usually what I'll do, and by the way, there's plenty of online learning that is much longer than an hour. In fact, I did one, when was that? Was it Friday? I did one Friday that was, I don't think it was quite an hour, but it was close. But I've got one coming in, hopefully today, that's going to be like 9,000 words, and you better believe it's going to be more than an hour long. But I would just do it by the minute. I would just charge by the minute on e-learning, unless the e-learning company has a set rate that they pay. Some people charge like a flat fee per minute or per finished hour or whatever. Just go by the minute if you're going to be quoting someone else. That way you're not having to do a lot of rounding. You only round by the minute. You know, if it's over half a minute, you can round up, whatever. But that's what I would do. Jason says, I keep getting more audiobooks and having a great time thanks to your advice. Well, awesome. That is fantastic. I'm glad that's happening. Yeah, I mean, audiobooks are probably I don't want to say the easiest thing to do or to get into, but the opportunities are huge in audiobooks right now, just because everybody is, on the go and they would much rather listen versus sit and read a book. So audiobooks are booming. And if you have platforms like ACX to go on and actually do your auditions, you don't have to have a website. You don't have to have a ton of samples and demos and stuff. You literally can just create an ACX website, or I'm sorry, an ACX account, start auditioning today. And if the rights holder likes your audition, you get the job. Easy. Just make sure, though, that you've got a good treated space and all that kind of stuff first. So don't just start auditioning from your kitchen, Make sure that whatever you're submitting is good quality audio. But those are the easiest things to get into quickly when it comes to VO work. Jim says on audiobooks, I run through the ACX Audio Lab. Very good checker. Yes, it is. I've used that a few times just in the last week or so. And because I'm recording my audiobook for the book that I wrote. And so I'm only about 2 or 3 chapters in just because I've been so busy with actual VO work, but I'm doing it as I can. But anyway, yeah, ACX has an audio lab where you just upload your file and it'll give you a check as to whether or not it passes their pretty strict limitations for what they require for their submissions. So that's a great tip. Thank you for that, Jim. There's Andrew. Good morning, evening from Latvia. Okay. Well, we've hit the bottom of the thing, y'all. So what I will tell you is the event for tomorrow night is really close to being full. So if you're going to be there, you might as well hurry up and sign up now. And if you want to sign up for that, there is a link below. As I said, this is probably the fastest thing that's filled up that we've ever done. And, but it's very important. And I think that's why it filled up so quick, because there's not a lot of content out there about the whole business side of things. And so that's what we're gonna talk about tomorrow night. So if you haven't signed up, feel free to sign up for that. And, Eddie, I will, be in touch with you on the win of the seat tomorrow night, and we'll make sure that we get you registered for that if you haven't already signed up. And, once again, if you have signed up, I'll just refund your money. Okay, guys, I am gonna get busy. I will see you all back here tomorrow, where we will talk about one more little thing about business before we get into the 7-step VO business system event tomorrow night. And until then, break a lip.